everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at Stray Kids track Voices. There's a performance version and a special video that looks to be a one take, so we're going to look at both, and depending on which one showcases the choreography more effectively, we'll look at that from an analytical lens. Can't wait to take a look. I've been marathoning Stray Kids from their debut up until their most recent work, and we're right here at this point of the journey, and so I can't wait to see what we have in store here. Let's check it out.
짜증만 나거든. 언제부턴가 이런 잔소리만 들려. 시끄러 이제는 I don't wanna hear no more. 고작 부르는 소리는 네 얘기 절대 속지 않지. 국현 한수원을 뻔뻔히 해봤자 하루 만에 말을 뻔뻔히. 왜 그리 얘기만 해? Because all of the slow ones will look how you did. 신경 안 써도 can't no more 됐어. 난 내버려. Going around 내 머릿속에 돌아.
I like this. I like how they progressed that in texture. That was cool. Woo! Like, I really love the quickness of that choice they made there, and then they created a way more subtle approach in the second time that tone was declared. Yeah. Yeah. Love it with the sunset. Great time to shoot this part. Looks great. Yeah. Wow. There's so many voices. Wow, that was really, really nice. Especially, I mean, that's something that's really sticking out even now is just the brand, like the on brand and on niche they are for creating depth behind their lyricism. It's really nice. Okay, we have a special video. Looks like, I think it's a one take. I could be wrong, but I have a feeling this is maybe around a different time period, it looks like. Very different in hair color and in appearance, it feels. Nice. That was clean. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be the one that we look at for sure. I'm gonna look at like two things real quick. Okay, so I don't quite know who choreographed this. I mean, it could be as obvious as in the video because I've missed it that blatantly before, but I do know there's a 2-year difference between the performance version we watched first and this one. We are going to tackle this one analytically, but I remember enough because I just watched the performance version, enough about it to do a comparison. They are naturally cleaner here. There's more an implicit pocket of how they all work together. That's just what happens over time. Love to see it, always. And it's just something to expect at this point for me. When I look at a group for an extended period of time, especially if they've been around for about 5 years or longer, you're going to see that. Because they all perform together, they dance together, so they're naturally going to be influenced off of each other. Just like when you hear, a lot of times in psychology, you hear people say, you are who you're closest to, like your 5 closest people are the people who are going to influence you the most. So in this case, they are around each other more than most people. So naturally, physical influences are going to take place for sure. So I'm very excited to tackle this in this way. It's kind of like I'm spoiling future Stray Kids for myself, but not really because I've already technically seen 2023 Stray Kids before I even started this marathon, so it's already been spoiled, but it's really fun. So notice right here, having everybody extend the arms out. Yes, they are operating with 8, and for the majority of the Stray Kids discography, they will operate at 8, but I'm still at this point when Voices came out, they had 9. So I do know that. So all of this choreo formation-wise has been reworked as well. They take it, I like the subtlety, and they go back in. It does feel very genuine what they're doing too. It doesn't feel placed. It feels intentional. And I love that at least in some facet, this intention of what this track is about resonates with them still. I love that. Maybe just in a different way. And you can see that through how they're walking. Honestly, it's that simple. Where you just see how they walk, how they're leading with their walk, where they're looking when they're walking. Sometimes people look very downcast. Some look up, some look front. A lot of those things can tell different ways, especially if you leave them up to their own accord of how they feel with the track, right? Because you can notice with some of them, they're looking straight, and some are looking a little bit down. Some are looking more down than others. They're resonating with the choreography differently, than they have before. And with each other, it's different. I like the pull. Notice that the knee is what's guiding that rotation around. Looks really nice. Some are sitting into the energy a little bit more than others, which is totally fine, very subtle. I love that. Some having a little extra, they're allowing the body to reverb as a result of just dropping down. Some people have it nice and locked up to make it, super still. Very clear to see who your feature is. Bleeding through, boom, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. He turns it through. Shout out to the skinny jeans. It is hard to dance in skinny jeans, so I'm always impressed when I see groups just freaking kill it. And they are. Like, all of them are in skinny jeans. Bless it. ding, 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 ding. Notice my feature, he's looking at it. Everybody else is kind of looking not at their hand in that moment. That's cool. Love that choice. Hitting ding, dee, 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 with the choices of the hands of the breakage of the wrist. Looks really nice there. Love this part. Whew, love the throw. Really nice. It's labored, and a lot of that comes from how they're pulling. They're pulling from the sides of the chest to create these hinge moments, which is similar to when you get pulled from the sternum a lot of times in energy. They're letting that head be a residual thing to think about secondary. They're letting the chest guide what's going on, and I like that. Kind of makes it feel labored, because whenever you have that kind of pressure, it does feel very burdenous, right? And so I appreciate, at least in texture, you can see that it does equate to some degree of believability when you see it, and just how they're standing, you can feel that there, even if there was no choreography. Really nice. That was really, really clean. Hold on, let's go back and appreciate that. Yeah, that was nice. Even if people are facing subtly different directions, just everybody getting up at the same time, really nice. Rotating the head in towards your feature. Love that. We're walking. Da 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 da. Really nice. My gut tells me my feature for this moment is probably my guy right here. Could be just a guess. Yeah, it is. Okay, so because he adds these little extra hands, or his hand, he does one instead of two. That's what made me naturally want to see him there, hitting it through. Love that motion there. A little tenseness before we throw it away. A lot of accents. I love that. Notice the double on that. Really cool. Nice embellishment to what's being thrown and accented. Pick up of the leg, pick it through, getting ready to rotate it around, using the arms. I really love, we're using our back more. You can see it from Bang Chan right there. That looks great. Love that choice. That throw, boom, bringing it back up. Nice to see this, da 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 da. So they're kind of pulsing through, pulse, pulse, and pulse, pulse. Other side, they throw it. So, and what's really cool here is with the feature, you can tell in the echoes. So, it makes sense that everybody's unified in that moment, doing a unified movement, because it matches the declaration in the backbeat, in the backtrack very well. So I love the choreography and how that was maintained as well. Super cool. Making it through, doom, doom, doom. Love that. And they pick up those arms. Great accent. Boom, 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 boom. So they take the arm up, down, and then they extend it out, and then they bring it back in. Looks great. So cool. It's the call and response formation, or choreographic choice. I love that. I do use that pretty often. When you hear something vocally and then you hear an echo, it's hard not to recognize that. And I really love it when I get to see the choreography showcase that, because it's going to naturally feel more full, and it's going to feel more collaborative in your music, because you're listening to the music. You're not just hearing what sounds the loudest. You're listening to all of it. Even the things that sound pretty minor, it matters, you know, especially if it's a song about voices. Conceptually, listening for the voice is going to be a bigger priority than ones that have a heavier bass represented, if that kind of makes sense. So I do like that a lot. This part, I really like this part, because what happens is they're doing a zigzag wave, then they turn it into a grid, so they make it more, they make a geometric kind of step. Call this stairs, like you're making stairs almost, I think is another way to word it. But they take that, they make stairs, but then they're taking it and turning it mostly into a box, but they still have that staired level difference there. And some of them do a good job with keeping it about the same range. It's a little bit off up there, but they're pretty close together. So my gut tells me that these are all mirrored choices that are being made. Like these two here, these two, and then these three are matching, and then you have your feature. Cool, I like it. Now from there, dee 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 dee, they speed it up to match the syllables there. Cool. And then this part is what I really like. They slow it down, boom. They're letting the wrist guide it, but they still have their hands pretty in check with the wrist. They're not going to loosen it up until here. Notice how loose it got. So it went from firm, and then they loosened it. So subtle, but really a joy. And it allows me to sit in how he's singing it in a way that just adds more to it. It adds depth to it, because it's not just manufactured, textured movement. It's like a crescendo through something staccato into a legato. Ugh, I'm melting. So fun. Get out of the way. Hey, nice to have an outlier come out, and then we're building it up. Boom, doom, doom, doom. So of course their movement's about to get a little bit more full, more maybe not syncopated. I mean, syncopation does help. In the chorus you do see that, but you're going to see a little bit more groundedness start to take place. That's not as much control or pulling happening from the torso like we have been seeing in the verse. Yeah, Dee Dee, they pull, but notice that it's their hand controlling, not just their chest. They pull it down, and then we make it a fuller movement there. Boom. It did feel a bit anticlimactic in that moment, which is fine. For a one take, I really don't care. And we got to see great fullness from the performance version, too. Ding, ding. And I love that throwing that head back. I mean, my neck is sore right now, but I love that. That was cool. That voice says ding, ding, ding. Let's see. I made it to 0.75 just this moment, just so we can really clearly see what they're doing, because it is so fast. On that one, 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 they're not stopping. If you miss one move, you're off. Then 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so they're taking their body, rotating it over. They're switching the arms. Then from here, they're prepping with the right arm. They take it, and they make it an accent with the elbow, and then they drop it all the way down. So they travel, 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 do, 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 boom. Love that choice. Then they take it, branch it up, back to the head, and then we drop it in. So they're technically building up what they've made. So they go full in the lower half, then they establish it on the head, accent, then expand it up, and then they go back to the head to still be like, don't listen. So it's really good wordplay at that moment too. Okay, I think that's the end of like the super fast stuff. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna go back to 1 speed. I think you can catch the rest of it, no problem. Turning, I like the turn. I like the conversational stoic position that my guy right here has. That's fun. There's another person, his name is Han, right? There's a Sungmin, I think. There is a Sungmin somewhere. A Changbin, a Bangchan, a Felix, an Ian. I think there's a Han somewhere. Yeah. So am I gonna guess game this? Maybe. Yeah. So I think that, can we guess him as Han today? And that's Felix, and that's Bangchan, and that's Han. Well, now I'm curious. Hold on. Okay, so we're not gonna guess them all today, but at least in my brain I'm exposed to names for the most part. So if I were to guess, he's gonna be Han today. He's gonna be Changbin today. This is, we're not gonna guess him. Bangchan today. Cool. That's a great start, right? Okay. A tap. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. But I like this part. Voices. This part's cleaner. You can tell the expansion of the arms is really nice and full. Looks great. I like that break free from. Now, I think that's different than what they did this time. Hold on. No, it is, but you have somebody covered up. But now the formation works well because there's nobody getting covered up anymore. So I like the fact that honestly, it makes me curious why we had this choice when we had 9, because you ended up covering somebody up. And that's normally when you have an even number formation, you run into that problem a lot more. You normally don't have to do that with a group of 9. So that's interesting. So this formation is formatted perfectly for an even number group. That's great. Cool. And then you have my guy that was in center right here, boom, expand it out, and then you have everybody else use both arms. He only used one, that was cool. They take it, they're about to go back to the head on this part. But instead of wrapping here, they wrap it all the way around, so they create a more complex position that requires more openness of one side, but it's still closed off because of the other arm. I like that. And honestly, I think it's cool. It's some of the shapes they're making, and of course they had a usage of a mask of some kind there. So it was nice to see that visual, but also some of the imagery of the mask come into play after seeing that visual in the performance video. That was cool. And there was a little twinkling happening. That was cool. Bringing it through that boom, 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 boom. Now this part. It reminds me of 2 songs, both female artists. It reminds me of To the Beat of My Heart by Hilary Duff. This song structure does. I don't know why. I'm not saying it's the same at all. It's just giving that same energy to me. And then Kelly Clarkson's Runs, and This Is My Heartbeat song, maybe the ones that are about the heart, because probably the pulsing in the back is contributing to that, because both of them are affiliated with hearts, right? Because she does a run, something like that. I don't know. My brain's just, it goes to so many different places. So I could be so out of pocket for saying that. My apologies. But I mean that in a complimentary way because I like both of those songs. And I really like how this song sounds, especially this part. I like how they dropped into that note. That was really nice. Yep, and then I like how everybody pulls, and then one of our individuals is on this side of Felix, so he's pulling in the opposite direction. I like that choice instead of everybody peeling this way, because then what that means is that the formation isn't really contributing energy to Felix if he was also going that way. So for him to go this way makes it feel like we're centralized on our feature, so I like that. Cool. And the pull right there, that was nice coming from somebody different, and that was a nice little surprise, and then they all make their own choices high, low. Really, really nice. But yeah, and then you have a pull. Whoo, he takes it and then he neutralizes. So he's like, he's right there in the thickness of the choreo, and then he chooses to come out of it. It's the same thing as like, I don't know, when you see somebody who's immortal and they like get shot or they get blown up and then they just kind of get up and brush it off. It kind of feels like that. The choreography is this glass shrapnel and he's peeling it off because he's immortal and invincible. Does that make sense? It's a weird way to say it, but that's how it feels, how the density or the weight of the choreography, he's able to take it off. It's so cool just how he was able to push that energy there. Really nice. And the only two of them didn't drop, which are these two, so it made me look at both. Yep, da-da-da, I like that. And he goes in opposition, my guy on stage right. Really nice. Super fun. This is so fun seeing their maturity and movement on choreo. I think this is one of the only groups that I've been able to see, with the exception of people that when I've seen them in watch concert footage, in a marathon. This is one of the only groups that I've been able to see multiple tracks done during the time it was out and during a newer equivalence of their maturity and movement quality. It's been really fun so far being able to see the differences between, for this one, I think Elevator was the other one too. Da-da-da-da-da, and they pull it through really nice. Yeah, some of them had more of like a residual kind of throw. I like it. It's cool. He's the only one, he's walking, staggering, and he drops. Really cool. Everybody hops. Whenever he drops, they hop, so it feels like there's opposition or there's an effect that happens by him dropping a level. That was cool. The rocks are nice too. Everyone's taking a subtly different approach on that, but it's really nice. It builds to a good place, but doesn't take away from what's going on. Once again, notice that it's their chest that's subconsciously guiding in the verses, and I like that, but it's a different type of guide. It's not hingy as much as it was in verse 1. Here, it's more we're letting our legs contribute, and our, if the order would be my legs, weight shift contributes where my torso wants to naturally go, and my head just kind of follows suit because it's kind of there, I like it. Nice, and they all reset there. Accent with the head, super fun. They slowly come up. Then we're pulsing. Boom! Look at the fullness from my guy in the front. That was really nice. Let's watch that again. That was really fun. I heard that bass so clearly from his movement. Let me see it. Yeah, that was great. Throwing it through. Boom, boom. And in the skinnies. Let's go. D-D-D-D-D. We pick it up. Nice little tap there. Yes! Da-da-da-da. Very quick on the feet on that. Really nice. Pulling back in. Da-da-da-da. Nice. Boom, and at that buddy, that was nice, where they go and see the levels, subtle but effective, really nice. Boom, and then whenever you have the first group, and then they rotate the other side, they add a new group of 2 into that level, so it feels like we're dropping lower and lower. The switch here, and then we have a nice little chest ISO contributing, going from low to high. Accent there with the arm before we transition over. Nice. Da-da-da-da, here we go. Same choreo as before. And I would say my guy right here, he's a little too far out, and I think he corrected it when he walked around, he overshot, and then he scooted in a little bit for this part. So I do appreciate, we see the effort of him trying to make it nice and even, but you can see the spacing's just a smidgen off. It's a one take, who cares, right? Notice what Bangchan did. He actually ended up waving it near the tail, and you can see because of how his forearm was creating a nice residual finger wave to exit the energy. I love that. So out of the 2 versions, I really like how Bangchan specifically does it. So let's watch. Ready? Ooh, it was that right. Ugh, melts like butter. Yep, they take it, bring it up. Throw it down. Very nice. Like that choice. Boom. Do-do-do. So there was extra movement added to this one because there's extra sound represented, so you can't just leave the sound alone. So I appreciate that they built it up and added more interrupted choices here to make it feel like it's a subtly different course. Yeah, because it's the same breakdown as I did before, but I really like the fullness of my guys over here on stage right. It's really cool. You can see how low he's getting to really create that fullness and get to the floor easier without killing the knee to do it. I like that. And then you have your 2 in the back complementing your feature, so it's a 3 with an outside V down. That's nice. Yeah. Voices. So that's cool. Everybody drops from inside, then it goes outside and then back to the back. So they traveled the energy from front and rotated it as they did that. That was nice. And then you have this situation, doom, it drops once again. No one's covered up. Cool. Voices in my... Cool. Looks great. Pulsing here. Oh. And we pull it once again. Same choreo as before. Ta-ta-pe, cool. Then we're setting it up, D-D-D, really like that. And then we go, they pull it, and we're back down every other. This is something I'm used to seeing from a Stray Kids formation format. I like it because you have a group of 3 or a group of 4 at a big point in time, but then you have others that are standing, and it just feels sporadic, but very intentional. It's just a really great formula of how they have, it's like every other in a line, you know, have different levels represented. It's fun. Really using depth. It showcases great depth in the formation. Yeah, even there. Then it's turned into a cannon. No, not a cannon. I'm sorry. It's turned into an add-on, but the first group has hands that subtly control what's going on with everybody else. But it's very clear to see who my feature is because he's mouthing the words, of course. But you have an outside 2 that are contributing, creating more fullness and intention behind this choice of the rotation. It's very subtle but beautiful. And then they go, and I like that. Once again, we're looking very nice. Feels like we're having a genuine conversation. I love it. The breath, nice. Really feel the weight of that. Bring it through. Boom, boom. Nice accent there. Beautiful. And then we take it and we make it a moment. We look at it. And then from there, boom, it's really clear the switch between all of this. It's more breath, more like a feather, and then we, boom, really lock and tense those muscles to get it right back in check with that bass when we hear it. I love his intention here. I'm definitely a fan of his perspective, like in declaration here. You know, I use the term declaration a lot and because it's true. Like a lot of their concepts specifically in this era, they just felt very in your face, you know, but what they're talking about is very deep and very beautiful, you know. So I really love, it feels genuine because they set up the lyricism that way. It helps me be able to see and appreciate it a little bit easier than, oh, you're just doing a concept for the sake of it. I like it, you know, so I think he's my MVP in performance quality for this particular video. Yeah, and then you have, I think that's Changbin right here. And I'm going to guess that's Han, but I could be both of them. I could be very wrong. I mean, this could be Changbin. This, you know, but the only ones I'm comfortable even guessing or knowing is Felix and Bangchan. I think those are the 2. And they're the ones that speak English too. So maybe it's because like my brain, I'm like, English, remember. I don't know. But anyway, I digress. I'm really trying to get on top of it earlier. That boom, 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 throwing it down looks really nice. The switch over, I like that choice. So they project and promote on one side, and then they take those arms to pull that energy over to the other side. Looks great. I love that step. Whew, nice little pull out of that too. Yeah. I love that choice. Dee. Looks great. This looks great. Yeah. Boom. Dee. Yeah. Boom, boom. And then we rotate it down. Looks great. Accents, boom, boom, boom. Cool. I really like the sunset shot of this particular section. It could be because the angle too. It was just gorgeous. This whole little mess there. That was nice, that boom. And then, once again, he's letting that chest pull and his head be last. I love that boom, rotate. I think Bangchan's rotation is slightly different than everybody else's, but because he's the feature, it doesn't look bothersome. And if anything, he hits that accent most effectively too. Head accent and the pulls up. I like that. So they're taking their arms, making them a fixed point as they pull their energy up. Looks great. Voices. There's voices. So it's like we're yelling. Woo, and then we create a nice, it's similar to what they have done in the courses. That is the course, but notice that it's in this later half of the breakdown, not in the beginning of the course. I love it. And so there's a big sense of familiarity there, but it's not taking away from how we were developing and creating a nice climactic moment with it. I like that pull, boom, boom. That looks great too. Voices, the voice, and then we drop, and of course we're going outside and then to the inside. Yep, and then we drop down. So this is more subtle this time instead of just a down like you saw in the first two. This one was just, he just melted in the center. Ding, 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 and then we branch it out to the side. So I like where they're going. They're making this shape, and then they branch it up. So what they're doing is they're folding this wrist to create two different positions, but it builds up the energy very well. Then right there, to finish it off, it feels like we're on a mask. We're putting our mask on, just like what we saw in the visual. The voices, and I know we saw something very similar to this. It could have been Felix's part again. I just don't quite remember. I recognize where he was. He was like over here whenever they did this specific move at one point in time. But I really like this song. It's a great vibe. You know, there's so many voices. True that. You know, there's a lot of voices that, regardless if our intention is to hear them, we end up hearing them, and we have a choice of what to do with those voices. You can learn something from everybody, but also sometimes there's beauty in learning how to discern which voices showcase authenticity or showcase wanting to be helpful, or that will be beneficial to your life. There's discernment on who you can trust. There is that in the voices that you hear. It's very relevant. So I'm very much a fan of this because it ties into everything that I've seen developmentally so far, and it just makes me more and more and more curious as the years go on, how does their sound change? What does their focus as a group shift to? You know, I think it's going to be so interesting. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am having so much fun really diving into this group, and I feel like I'm slowly potentially learning the members here more organically than having a notebook and sitting there and trying to guess. So hopefully I'm right on who I guess. If I'm not, that's okay. We'll try again next time. But I am excited to continue on and see their discography over the years, because they've been around for a hot minute and a half now. I think it's been 6 years, maybe, yeah, 6, because 2025 is year 7, I think, for them. But I could be wrong. I don't know that much, but I'm having a blast. Once again, my name is Jess. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.